in the mid to upper 70s.
Yeah, we're talking about this Georgia high school shooting that took place yesterday. Very, very sad story. People are still, commenting, texting in.
Yeah.
I found this interesting. Montel Williams, he's been a contributor lately for CNN. He went on yesterday and started talking about the Georgia high school shooting and says it's time for adults to start taking this seriously. Okay. So I'm going to play this clip. You guys let us know what you think.
This is such a sickening habit now that we have in this country. What are you feeling today as we report on this yet again?
The first thing I did was I looked back at an op-ed piece that I wrote back in February of 2018 after Parkland shooting. Because on my show, I don't know if a lot of people remember this or not, but I probably had the majority of then Columbine, several of the school victims came aboard the show. I actually went to Chardon after the mass shooting there. I was at Maryville Ho-Chunk in Washington State. And I looked into the eyes of those kids, and my op-ed piece started with never again, again. That was back in 2018. But it really should be never again, 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 again. It's time for the adults in this conversation to take this seriously. 77% of the people in this country believe that we need to have stricter gun laws. Why don't we start doing that? And number two, I'm sorry, we just found this out right before I came on the air. A year before this happened, that 14-year-old, as a 13-year-old, had the FBI knock on their door and ask their family and ask him if he was talking about something like this. And the father said, well, I do have guns in the house, but he can't have access to them. Really? Well, now it's time to start holding the people who, if for children like this, let's start holding these parents more accountable. Let's start locking those parents up for 15, 20 years. Then we're going to start seeing at least responsibility in the gun ownership world.
Yeah, there's that part of it. Look, there's so many aspects of this that are just...
I don't know, interesting perspective. I don't want to turn this into a political
Right,
thing.
no.
It's just an observation.
But yeah, of course. Whoever is the owner of that gun, you're responsible for it. Right?
And that's my question. How did the kid get it?
So...
But then let's go back to...
But again, I do know, even if you say the gun is in a safe, then who has the key to the safe? And every household is different.
Maybe the dad was...
Gun ownership in every household is different.
Maybe the parents were hiding it and the kid just found it.
You never know.
That's not the parents' fault.
Right. Now it sounds in this situation, the FBI, he was 13 years old. They go to their house. They say, hey, this is what was posted. This is what's trending. Could something more have been done? I don't know.
Again,
does the FBI have the right? Do they have to get a warrant? Do they go in the house? Do they see if they're locked? What is the law?
We could analyze this and go, and talk about what happened in that kid's home for hours and hours and argue about guns and argue about, what shoulda, coulda, woulda been done, whatever, but let's kind of shift over to now let's go to the school, because that's where the kid brought the gun. So how did the gun get in the school? Mm-hmm.
How did he get there that day
with
that weapon?
What's more significant? Is it that he got his hands on the gun or that he took it in the building? Like what's more significant? That he took it on school grounds? What's more important? How he got it or that he got it on the school grounds? That's a good question.
Yeah, because it could have been anywhere though. It started when he left the house with it.
But but how did he leave the house with it?
Right. That's where it starts.
Okay, well then, forget about, not forget, but let's set aside, because how he got the gun in his hands, that's a whole nother. Mm-hmm. So you say, gun owners, hunting.
Let's say they did have it locked
gun
up.
Collectors,
right?
Whatever.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Because I don't want to turn this. This is not about that. This is not about a political situation. Mm-hmm. So let's forget that, and let's make it more. how did the kid get the gun in his book bag and leave the house with it without his parents knowing? And how did he get it in the school?
But I don't think an AR-15 can be put inside of a book bag.
Correct. That is correct.
So the size of that weapon is not small enough to where you are taking it in a backpack.
So how did he get into the school?
Right.
Did he just somehow get to
hide
the
it
school
outside?
and then run, take a run for it into the building? Like what?
Did he hide it outside? Say he was, leaves the class and goes outside.
Now
I don't know.
I know that when I go pick my kids up from school, or when I have in the past, they got to ring you in. Mm-hmm. You go up, you hit the speaker or whatever, and then you say, I'm here to pick up so and so. They have a camera out there. You have to tell them who you are. That's how you get in the building.
Right. But there's also more than one way to get into the school. Did he unlock a door?
There is.
Did he leave a rock? I don't know.
I will
I'm just
say
saying,
this.
Did he put a chair to prop it open? Who knows?
I will say this, and this might sound selfish. This might sound crazy. But when they first started doing you go up to the door and you got to beep yourself in, they were much more tight than they are now. Mm-hmm. Okay? I'll just say it just like that. They were much more tight than they are now.
I ring the bell. I smile.
Now
I wave at the camera. Hey.
Yeah, well, I'm not dogging our schools. I don't want to do that because we have the best schools I think around. I'm just saying when you go up, and this is not just our schools. When we've done events and different things, I've gone up where you hit the button and they'll be like, "Come on in." Mm-hmm. Maybe they recognize me, but they don't say, "Who are you? What are you doing here? What kid? Why are you taking them?" Like before you had to do all that. Now
you're saying it's like easier.
It's gotten laxer.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it is a student though. I don't think he had to buzz himself out and buzz himself back in. I don't think. Again, I could be wrong because I don't know.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was a situation.
Shout out to my man,
that happened.
Coach Nate checking in. He said that an AR-15 could fit in a backpack.
Okay, you can break it down that way?
I guess so.
Okay, I had no idea. Because the one that I've used at the range was big. So, I have no idea.
So, I don't know. If you want to check in, again, 302-858-5117. We're getting a lot of messages here. 260 AR-15 has different lengths and sizes, can easily be broken down and fit in a backpack. 603, the FBI knocked on his door a year ago. More could have been done. Counseling, periodic checks, something. Okay. I agree with that. Okay.
Right. So AR-15s comes in different sizes, and you can break them down.
Yeah. 470. To me, it's more important that he got it into the school than it is how did he get it in his hands. Mm-hmm. Okay. Absolutely. Let's see. 409. There's always signs and quietness before the storm. Parents need to be held accountable and responsible for their kids' actions. Yeah. He's going to be tried as an adult.
Gosh. I mean, and the way, if someone is planning it out that way, then it's like premeditated. So maybe that's why he's being tried as an adult. Like it was a planned attack. It was a planned event.
Yeah.
Like you thought it out.
Well, I don't know the answer. I mean, none of us know the answer. There's bad people in this world, and
so sad.
You can't just.
It's so sad.
Whether you agree or disagree with the parents being held responsible, whether you agree or disagree with the whole gun thing, shouldn't be turned into a gun argument. Like I'm over that. I'm over the gun argument.
Wow.
Let's talk about how it got into the school.
And also, for the adults, for anyone who's a gun owner, be a responsible one.
Yeah, responsible.
Be a responsible
just like
gun owner.
I think I really appreciate Jess saying earlier, no matter what, whether maybe somebody's listening to us right now and is like a gun person or a gun owner, and they're like, well, maybe listen to them. Maybe I do need to be a little bit more responsible.
Right.
Just hearing us talking about the
right.
story, you know? So
If you're a gun owner, just be a responsible one.
yeah.
And most are. Most are. But again, some different households, and maybe not around here, but just like different states, just, you know, he was describing how they went. The FBI knocked on his door at the age of 13, and the dad was like, oh, we have guns, are locked up, you know, and like downplaying it. Don't downplay it. If you're a gun owner, be a responsible one. That's it.
And we're not against guns. I mean, like, you know, if you have a gun, I'm not looking at you different.
Right,
you know, it's all
right.
good. It's all
Yes,
good.
Yes.
Just be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And again, are the parents to blame? Maybe the
But
kid.
again, like the gun owners that I know are pretty much like responsible. Like when you're a gun owner, like you take pride in that, if that makes any sense at all. I mean, these cases are just sad and just terrible. And we always hear about like the mental health.
Yeah.
And like the
mental health is big.
you know, the young adults behind it or how they get access to it and things like that. But just, you know, the gun owners that I know really do take pride in their gun ownership. They do follow the rules. They do take the courses that are needed. They do, you know, follow gun safety. I'm not saying everyone that has a gun is just careless, but some, you know, do feel like, you know, it's my right. I get that. You know, I'm protecting my home. Yes, I get that too. But again, mental health is real. And
Yes,
some
it
people
is.
don't
Yes.
want to admit that they're even their kid. They're like, no, this is my kid. My
Mental
kid's
health
fine.
is
My
real.
kid's fine. But I mean, some people just, you know,
It's okay not to be okay.
yeah, you have to really, really be responsible.
Let's see, 953. Blame the parents. He is a minor. They should have gotten him help, better, or at least better help. He was tried as an adult because we are tired of these kids doing these things. Got to set an example. Yeah, I mean, okay, but I don't blame the parents. He's a minor. They should have gotten him help or better help. I don't know what took place in that household.
Yeah, none of us do.
You know, maybe the parents tried everything
Yeah.
and
we're
they
just
thought things were
speaking
getting
just
better.
in
Maybe
general.
they did everything that they could.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. We just don't know.
We don't know.
So 858, this whole thing just makes me sick. School shootings have sadly become the norm. We haven't done anything to prevent this stuff. Makes me scared to send Piper and Josie to school. It's sad. What do we do?
Well, now, I mean, today I've heard of a lot more schools having the metal detectors that I didn't know about.
Yes, we did learn about that. I mean, that I'm not against that at all.
The first I've heard of it
Put
was
'em up.
that they were going to have them at the football games, you know, be patient, longer lines, but we're going to have a different security measure. But now I hear today that they're like, no, at the schools. Not just football games, but at the school as well. I had no idea.
339, I have fingerprint safes.
Okay, so
That-
only your
that's-
fingerprint can open it.
That's good.
Wow, that is nice.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
I like
very
that.
nice.
Not everybody's going to get that, but I like that. 858, parents need to be more involved in their kids' lives. It's not always mental health. No, maybe not always, but a lot of times it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And don't be embarrassed to ask for help.
Yes.
I think that's a big thing when it comes to mental health.
953, could have sent him to military school. Yeah. Really? Like, could have sent him to military school. That going to solve the problem? Like, I mean, we don't know.
We don't.
We don't know what the situation is. 470, parents work and don't always have the ability to watch their kids' every move. This is a choice he made. It's a choice he made. I mean, it's just sick. I hate talking about this. I hate that we have to talk about this. I like talking about it just to have a conversation.
Open up the conversation.
Just to open up the
Yeah.
conversation. You probably won't hear this the way that we're talking about it. You're not going to hear anywhere else. You're not going to hear
Right,
anywhere else.
right.
You know, I don't want to bring. I hate the politics. I don't want to
Yes.
bring stupid
No.
politics. Stupid politicians, stupid politics. They want to start, going around and it's a.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to have a real open conversation about this. 260. A lot of parents nowadays let their kids have access to the guns for security purposes. Left home too. When left home alone. Interesting.
So they allow them to have access
A 14-year-old?
for protection.
But a 14-year-old. Send them for 100 years to jail and be done. That's what somebody just texted in.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
100 years. 858. You're right. We're just speculating, Bill, and it's frustrating. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I mean, because every situation is different. But then we're like, yeah, but it's still a school. It's still like our kids, How do we help it, fix it, change it?
470. If you're allowing kids to have access to guns, then they better be taught properly how to use them. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
Of course. Good morning, Power 1017.
You're live on the air.
Hey, Bill and Jess, how you doing?
Hey,
Hi.
what's up?
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What if the kid is a good kid and buys a gun on the street and the parents don't know about it and does something stupid like this kid did?
Right.
And why are you going to blame the parents and say it's the parents' fault if they had no idea that their kid has a black market gun? Or
Yeah, no,
whatever you
I
call
get it.
No, I mean
get it.
that's you're right about that.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
I get tired of saying blame the parents because I have guns. My son knows better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they are locked up. And he knows the combination. But, it's like I trust him, and he knows better how to use them.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these kids, they get them on the street anytime they want, and they think they're cool. And
Yeah.
when they do something stupid, it's like, oh, it's the parents' fault because they didn't train them right. And it's not.
I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if
And
anybody.
you're not the only one, Ernie, who has guns, follows gun safety, have your guns locked up, and your
Yeah.
kid, knows the combination to it. You're not the only one.
And we're not against guns. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the.
But I also see what you're saying. What if they do go buy it off the street somewhere?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
just, it just
gives it to 'em.
floors
I
me.
mean, you don't know.
Well, it floors me that a 14-year-old, can just have access to a gun out on the street. I mean, now this kid, from what I understand, they had guns in the house. So
I see that.
I think every situation's different.
Yeah.
And I
every
think that
household is different.
Well, I think that every situation is different. And I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer as far as what we could do to help prevent school shootings. Because everybody has their own
They
answer.
do. But I will say, just as a responsible adult, be a responsible gun owner if you own a firearm.
Yes, that's the bottom line. Put a
So
lock on the trigger. That way, only you have the key. If you can't trust your kids, or think you can't trust them, but
or just if you want to be more preventative, if you just want to be more,
yeah.
So
I
hey,
just get tired of everybody saying it's the parents' fault because the kids doing stupid stuff, and
yeah, because we
being a
don't know
parent.
what the situation is. We don't know, everybody always, has their own spin on things, but thanks for checking in, Ernie. Appreciate it.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Have a good one.
You too. Somebody else said he probably learned it from the games.
Some people say that too.
And I don't blame the
people do
games
say
either.
that.
I don't blame the games either.
We've heard that a lot.
There's one game I don't know my kids played.
Yeah.
With we played Duck Hunt back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that stupid dog. We we played Duck Hunt back in the day. So I don't know. Well, thank you guys for
Yes.
checking in. We appreciate it. We do have a lot of other stuff that we've not gotten into yet, but we just wanted to have an open discussion just about the awful tragedy that happened in Georgia yesterday.
It's just so sad.
It's very sad. It's not political. Every situation's different.
If the
And-
FBI, for some reason came to your house for, an incident like this, and here they are 1 year later, And look what has happened. Like, I don't know. It's just so sad. Because when you look back, you're like, man, what could have been done a year ago?
Yeah.
You know?
And again,
what could have
been done?
Been changed, you know?
I wouldn't trust my 16-year-old with a gun and he's a great kid, just saying. Somebody just text in. That's great. That's a good, okay. You know, but there's other 16-year-olds who parents do trust with a gun.
Right.
Not to take to school, not to take out of the house, not when they're not with them.
Right.
But I will say,
they trust them in the house with firearms. They trust them with the combination. They trust them to hunt.
We live on the Eastern Shore, like,
right.
I mean, it is what it is. So, again, shout out to everybody for checking in. We appreciate you guys. 7:34. We will continue on the way. Throwback Thursday. We got our big Hispanic festival coming up. Here's all the details.
The Voice Radio Network